Hey, what's up everyone? Pete the Guttural Monk here. Today I'd like to share with you my most recent used bin pillages. I knew I was shooting this video today, so yesterday before work I took a trip to a small little CD store the next town over from me just to see if I could add anything to the already monstrous stack of stuff that I picked up at Vintage Vinyl a couple weeks ago. Turns out I was able to score 3 used CDs there, so I have a total of 23 that I'm going to share with you guys today. Before I get started, just wanted to say congrats to YouTuber Ted Orbach. He's the guy who won my contest a couple weeks ago. I sent Ted a box of 10 different CDs, a couple duplicates I had lying around, as well as a couple things from my own bands. Ted, if you're watching, I hope you enjoy everything. Definitely let me know what you think about the bands that you may be unfamiliar with, because I'd love to get your opinion. And again, thanks for everybody who participated in that contest. Starting up with the used CDs I scored yesterday. This is Mid-Winterblot from Unleashed, some mid-era stuff from them. Definitely a gap filler for me. Happy to have this one in my collection for sure. Next up is Carkello from Corpiclani. Again, it fills a gap in the collection that was otherwise empty from Corpiclani. Happy to have that. Next up, I'm not going to be able to pronounce the album's title, but this is some mid-era Fintroll. Definitely fills a gap as well in my Fintroll collection. Was very happy to score that. And I gotta say, I scored a great deal on all 3 of these yesterday. $10. Awesome. Can't beat that. Next up, oddly enough, starting with the Vintage Vinyl stack, is another album from Fintroll. This is probably my favorite release from them, Nat Fode. Definitely fills a gap as well for me. Very good stuff from Fintroll. Next up is some mid-era Cataclysm with Shadows and Dust. Absolutely love the title track, In Shadows and Dust. Fucking killer meat and potatoes death metal from Canada. This one here, I'm actually still shocked that I was able to find this in a used bin and in the condition that it's in. This is the Prophecy Fulfilled from Darkest Hour. This is their super melodic death metal focused early stages of the band. I believe this is their first true EP. Never thought I'd own a copy of this one. I figured the run was too small. This one was a little bit too elusive to score in all places in a used bin. But very, very happy to have this one in the collection. I own all of the early Darkest Hour stuff. Just really happy to own this one. Whoever sold this to Vintage Vinyl, thanks, because you made my day when I saw that. Next up, this is Devouring the Prophecy from Odious Mortem. Brutal, semi-technical death metal. Unique Leader Records. In very good condition. Happy about that. Next up, this is Illogicist with Subjected. Unfamiliar with this album, still haven't listened to it. Kind of bummed about the hole punch in the barcode. Shit happens. A couple of them have it. It even has a fold, a crease in the back cover there. But when you're shopping through used bins, it's bound to happen from time to time. It's just a matter of how much that bothers you, and it really doesn't bother me all that much. Next up, completing my Kill Whitney Dead collection. This is Hell to Pay. Fuck what you think about Kill Whitney Dead. Yes, it's very simple. It's very straightforward. It's very deathcore. It has a lot of movie samples that are just beyond cheesy as fuck, but gotta love these guys. They definitely have a spot in my heart for sure, and I'm happy to now own everything that they've ever released. Next up, some Jersey heroes. This is Colopsia with Exquisite Beauty of the Defiled. Think kind of straightforward death metal, Malevolent Creation style vocals. Very good stuff from the sewers of New Jersey. Next up is an album that I owned at one time. I think I had like an advance copy, like a promo copy or something like that. Went on tour with one of my bands and left it in some van somewhere in some state. This is a Glass Casket with Desperate Man's Diary. Really like this stuff. Abacus Recordings back in the day. They were part of, I believe, the Century Media family. They released a lot of cool stuff. What I really like about this version that I didn't have in the version that I owned at one point are the liner notes. This is a really dark, twisted fucking story of I guess the overall concept of the album. It just gets darker and uglier as the liner notes go on. Really cool touch that I didn't own the first time around with this one, but happy to have put that one back in the collection. This one was a shocker when I saw it in the used bin. I know this one's not easy to find. Not going to try to pronounce the name of the album, but this is one from Thy Primordial. Really fucking cool shit. Again, it's got a hole punch on the Yoop, but it is what it is. I am very, very, very happy to own this one. Pretty sure it's an original press. So yeah, this is a good one to have in the collection. This next one I kind of screwed up on, but yet again, as a collector, I kind of didn't. This is Nanonucleic Cyborg Summoning from Behold the Arctopus. I'm a big fan of Colin Marston. This ultra technical, crazy, fucking off-the-wall noodling shit from Behold the Arctopus isn't something that I spin often, but I picked this one up because I thought I owned Skull Grid. It turns out that I already own this album, but it's just a different issue of it. Which, again, as a collector, I'm happy. I owned this one, and now I own this one. This was the original press, and now I have the Metal Blades reissue. That's cool with me. Next one I also doubled up on, but this one I knew right off the bat that I was doubling up on it. So, this is the ultra rare, very first press of Disciples of Mockery's only full-length Prelude to Apocalypse. Fucking Craig Pillage from Incantation, whole bunch of other New Jersey death metal heroes. I'd never, ever seen a copy of this. I didn't even know that this was released in a red jewel case, to be completely honest with you. Independent release, 1999, Disciples of Mockery right down there at the bottom. In fucking perfect condition. I swear it looks like the CD was never even played. I picked it up because I knew I already had the Necroharmonic repress. But again, the collector in me says, you see something like this, you fucking grab it. It's a great album, so I'm happy to have it twice in the collection. Those two spines next to each other look really fucking cool. So I was really, really stoked to find that one. Next up, Soundtrack to Your Escape, In Flames. Again, fill the gap. Not thrilled about the album, but I just didn't have it, so be it. I could never pronounce the name of these guys. A Gale? I have no idea. Technical deathcore, maybe not so technical. A little bit more brutal deathcore. Unique Leader and Crash, which I didn't know that there was a pressing like that, but I don't really know. So be it. Really cool album. Again, I think this one's kind of hard to find, so I was happy about that. Next up is another local New Jersey band. This was released in 2006. This is the Kodiak Bear Regiment with The Mattress Tells No Lies. Really fucking weird stuff. One of my old bands played a show with these guys and a band called Bubbles back in the day, who were very closely tied with the Kodiak Bear Regiment. Fucking bizarre shit from New Jersey. What can I say? Next up, I don't know. I actually had to double check my collection when I got home to make sure that I didn't double buy this one. I was almost positive I didn't own it, so I bought it, and it turns out that I, in fact, didn't own it, which was good. Don't know how, but this is the Napalm Death and Coalesce split from back in the day. I think it's called In Tongues We Speak or something like that. Yeah, In Tongues We Speak. I haven't bought an album with a parental advisory sticker in a long time. Not really sure where I'm going to put this one in the collection. Probably with the Napalm Death stuff. I already have, an issue with, if it starts with Napalm Death, that's where it's got to go in the collection there. Even though the Coalesce side of this, I think, is actually my favorite side. But so be it. Classic split to finally put in the collection. Next up is Augury with Fragmentary Evidence, Nuclear Blast release. Pretty sure these guys play like a technical melodic death metal style. I know their first album, and I can't pronounce it, I can't remember the name of it. Really hard to find. I don't own that one. This is my first Augury album. But saw it in used bin, figure it was worth a go. This one is like, it's a whale of sorts for me, at least. I haven't I don't know how I've never scored a copy of it. Every time I see it, like, in a distro or on eBay or something like that, I'm like, I don't really want to pay $10 for it, but I will certainly pay $4 for it. Hemdale with Brad Jackson. This is like a compilation of sorts of basically all the Hemdale material, splits and demos and EPs and shit like that. This was released a long fucking time ago, like 2002. Couple covers from Destruction, Napalm Death, Grave, Hole Punch in the UPC. What the fuck ever. This is one of my favorite, like, death grind, compilations or releases of all time. I don't know how I never owned it, but very happy to finally have that one. Next up, this was just for nostalgia, really. This was Heaven Shall Burn with Antigone. The Weapon They Fear is still one of the most badass, like, metalcore songs of all time. Yeah, this is a Century Media and Abacus release as well. Back in this time period, whenever that was, like, early 2000s, something like that, the Century Media family, they were just pumping out, like, sampler after sampler and really drilling it in your head that, God Forbid and Diecast and Heaven Shall Burn were the future of metal. And, they had some solid stuff, but it never really panned out for any of those bands. But I never owned that one. I really like that track, so that's why I picked that one up. Next one is the first album from Desecravity, Implicit Obedience. These guys are from Japan. This was released on Willow Tip a couple years ago. Actually bought their 2015 album. I think it was 2015, 2014, something like that. Whenever that one was released. I like that a lot. I loved this album when it came out. I never owned it, though. Happy to score that one. And then it's rare that I buy a live CD. But again, as a diehard New Jersey, New York hardcore death metal guy, 25 to Life, straight up fucking hardcore punk. This is live at Feud to Real. I actually don't own any 25 to Life stuff, so now I can add this one to the collection, even if it is just a live album. So be it. That's it. Ran through it all in 12 minutes. That's 23 releases, all from the used bin. Support your local record stores. Fucking buy something. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't. See you next time. Cheers. Thanks, guys.